Carolla does not hold back on his interview with Megyn Kelly regarding California, what's happening with Gavin Newsom, and then we're going to go on a little history trip throughout the years of Adam Carolla's opinion, and Megyn Kelly, honestly, on Gavin Newsom and his behavior, his governing, and how he's just kind of crazy. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into it. But before we do, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to Resist the Mainstream, because it ensures to YouTube that you are enjoying our videos, and in turn, they'll continually show up in your feed, and they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into these videos.
Gavin Newsom, got recalled essentially, and he still won. We had a choice between Rick Caruso, a sort of qualified, able-bodied businessman, for mayor. We ended up with Karen Bass. We sort of get what we deserve. And I do want to say to all the people in Malibu, very blue, Palisades, very blue, Santa Monica, very blue. You guys like all this. This is who you voted for these people. You're sitting around right now going, how come the fire hydrants don't work? Where's the mayor? Why is she out of the country? What's going on with the aqueducts? You voted for these people. This is who you voted for. You live in Santa Monica, you live in these places. This is how you roll. This is what you agree with. You think it's more important to have a woman of color versus a qualified person. You think it's more important to have a lesbian running the fire department than a qualified person. Well, you asked for it, you got it, now your house is on fire.
And for clarification, he doesn't think it's wrong to be a black person and get a position. No, just for everyone, I feel like this needs to be stated. I'm qualified for many things, and I'm not qualified for many things. And I would not ever want to be put in a position to where I'm doomed to fail because of my lack of knowledge, ability, skill. And so that's what matters most. It doesn't matter your skin tone. But if you're going to put me in a position solely because of this, that's a problem. If you're going to put a female in a position solely because she's a female, that's a problem. If you're going to put someone in a position because of their sexual orientation, that's wild. Why would that even be a part to play in them getting a job? That's a problem. And so with Democrat voting and this hyper fixation on social issues and representation and all this stuff is how we end up where we are right now. Incompetence, a lack of ability. And you see what's happening in California. It's terrifying. It's terrible. People's lives are being ruined all because people wanted to prioritize things that didn't matter over actually making sure that the American people are safe. Why you were actually put in the position you were put in, or why you should have been put in the position you were in to begin with. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. We're gonna go to an interview from a year ago, I think, with Megyn Kelly and Adam Carolla, and he doesn't hold back at all. So let's get into that.
Down too long?
I mean, in certain parts of the state, they were open.
Yeah.
And that we gave local control. The local control funding formula, it's a constitutional construct. It allows localism. And we advanced localism. We didn't have command and control. We allowed that local control. And in some cases, it was, yes, they waited too long. In other cases, they didn't. It's an interesting fact, isn't it? That states like Florida are out there saying we opened up earlier, and yet they did worse in academic achievement. You have to, I think, come out of this with a sense of humility, absolutely, but also a little grace, that California tended to do a little bit better than most other states.
Absolutely not.
I mean, literally every word of that was a lie.
Yes, total revisionist history. Well, let's just think about it. So you're saying states where they shut schools down and kept kids at home, like California, the kids did better academically at home than they did in states that were free, that did not close the schools? Well, in that case, why are kids at school right now? Why not just shut all the schools so they can stay home and get more learning in than states that let the kids go to school? Because that's essentially what he's saying. I know he can't do math, and I know we don't keep track of math scores in California, but if you're doing the math, you're saying, okay, so the longer and the harder you lock down, the more the kids flourish academically. That's number one. Number two, this guy is a goddamn sociopath. I talked to him. I stared into the eye of the beast for an hour and a half on my podcast, and all he does is lie. He puts Brill cream on his teeth. I don't know why more idiots don't understand who this guy is. I lived in California. They shut down the beaches. They arrested people for paddleboarding in the harbor. They shut down all the beach volleyball courts. By the way, being outdoors, vitamin D, exercise, sunshine could have been the best thing for you during COVID. But no, he locked them all up in their apartments. This guy's a sociopathic, tyrannical dictator, and nobody should listen to a goddamn word this idiot says.
Tell us how you really feel. The
He's
numbers
just
are
a
actually...
sociopath. He's a liar. And by the way, he didn't believe COVID for 10 minutes. He was out eating, and I think you can check the timeline. When he was at the French Laundry, which is the most expensive place you can eat in California, with 28 of his closest friends, arm in arm, banging elbows, no mask, eating indoors. The following week, he shut down outdoor dining based on zero science in California. Zero science.
And that's one of the most frustrating things about that time period is that all these Democrat politicians were being so hypocritical. You see Nancy Pelosi go getting her hair done. None of these people are masked up. You see Gavin Newsom out to dinner. I think Barack Obama had a birthday party or something. All these things are happening. No mask, no social distancing, none of the fear mongering. No, they're not living up to the fear mongering that they're perpetrating and propagating to the whole country, making them fearful for their lives. People still wear masks to this day because of the terror that they inflicted on them through propaganda, through mainstream media. And then they didn't believe any of it. They weren't living it out themselves. As a matter of fact, I think it was Gretchen Whitmer was flying out to Florida. I think AOC flew out to Florida because places they live were locked down like crazy. Michigan, New York. Yeah, you stay locked down in your place, but I'm gonna go have a little vacay. I'm gonna go have some fun. You stay here though. You do. Yeah, hey, remember, 6 feet. Be terrified. So much to be scared about. Ridiculous, man. So true. Gavin Newsom. I said that on purpose.
He never believed in COVID.
He did want school lockdowns, and at the same time he was pushing them for everyone else's kids. He sent his 4 kids to private school, which was open. So his kids got to go to school while he kept all the other kids who are going to public school in California away from their teachers, away from in-person learning, which we know was of course better for the children to be in school. So it's of course a double standard.
Well, and the teachers' unions are in the back pocket of the Democrats, and they're going to dictate to the Democrats what they want. And the teachers' unions are corrupt and they're cowards. And so they just wanted to stay home. So they just told all the Democrats who were in charge of California or Chicago or wherever they happen to be in charge, we're staying home and we want to stay home. Who doesn't want to stay home? But Gavin Newsom's revisionist history on his tyrannical COVID lockdowns are insane. And by the way, why do revisionist history if you were right? If you were so much better than Florida, if you're so much better than Texas, then why do you need to go back and tweak the past? Just tell us what you did. And by the way, it's insulting for anyone who lived in California because they saw the schools closed, they saw the playgrounds closed, they saw the churches closed, they saw the beaches closed. I mean, these guys are sociopaths. I saw Eric Swalwell on a news show about 3 weeks ago, and he's like, the Democrats, well, let me tell you about the Democrats. We're the party that if some airborne virus sweeps the land, we're the ones who are trying to open Main Street, open schools, open churches. Like,
oh my God,
said, churches and schools. You're the ones, or you're the ones who locked everyone down and got everyone addicted to fentanyl and suicidal for a year.
You say that is absolutely insane after what they put us through.
That's exactly what Gavin Newsom did. We've covered it at length, his shutdown of the churches there and how he was on them. He got federal help in sniffing them out, underground investigators inside churches to see if people were wearing their masks and keeping social distancing. The feds are still going after some of them. Bill Malugin of Fox News tweeted out a reaction saying, this guy repeatedly shut down California businesses in 20 and 21. He issued stay-at-home orders. By the way, he definitely issued mask mandates and vaccine mandates for all the schools, which he did close. And he's doing something similar to what we saw Andrew Cuomo do, who's also trying to wiggle out of his authoritarian streak during COVID, which is they're saying, well, I didn't order them closed. Yeah, I left it to the locals. What they did was issue these, quote, like color-coded tiers that decided who could open and who couldn't, and then stayed in the red the entire time and got on the schools who didn't listen. That's of course, what he was doing. And then, of course, sent his own kids to in-person learning at private school while the public schools in Sacramento County or all around him remained closed. Overnight curfews, closing of the businesses and so on. Obviously, though, he's running for office. There's zero chance for him to be doing this revisionist history if this guy were not running for office. And I don't care. We'll see how he manages to get Joe Biden off the ballot. Right now, RFK is polling at 22% of the Democrat Party, like 22%. So good luck getting him out of the way. I don't think there's some love affair for Gavin Newsom that's being tamped down right now. I really don't. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they're more progressive than I realize. But I think, old school liberals are not in love with the crazy ass far left progressive policies that Gavin Newsom has forced on Californians. And once they get a close look at that guy, I think they'll go rushing to RFK, Jake. They'll rush anywhere other than Gavin Newsom.
If only they knew then what we know now. RFK Jr. is going to play a pivotal role in this administration that Trump is going to begin in a very short period of time. Really excited in just a few days. We're so close. But yeah, it's disgusting to see these people, the revisionist history that they are displaying, trying to act as though they were the ones that were about opening churches. And you guys would close everything down but a strip club and a liquor store. Y'all are fake as heck. Like, this is crazy. Like, oh my gosh, to know that this is reality is terrifying. Because no, sir, you were part of the problem. You were a hypocrite. And so with everything going on in California, we still don't trust you and we don't believe you. And Adam Carolla is right. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I want to know what you guys are thinking, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.